Hello, everybody. This is Grace on a Journey, and you are listening to Grace on a Journey Channelings. Welcome to the newcomer, and to those of you returning, my fellow travelers, welcome back. So today's title is going to be Open Your Eyes. And what you'll notice we are diving into today, it will be in relation to standardized spirituality, quote unquote. Now, that may seem foreign to most of you because there is so much freedom in spirituality. But what we will notice and comprehend, hopefully, by the end of today's episode is that there are certain guidelines that we shouldn't ignore, guidelines that can be costly, guidelines that can redirect what we once believed was our destiny. It's that serious enough that we can make an entire episode diving into it and processing it in order to make better choices so we don't have to repeat patterns and find ourselves in the same cycles reoccurring time after time and unable to move forward. Because that is a state of being that I don't believe anyone is comfortable with or would choose. To feel stagnant, to feel stuck, to feel left behind. I am in the belief that we want to move forward. We all want to experience what it feels like to experience progress and have enough information that we can look behind and see how far that we've come and be proud of ourselves and have some type of understanding that, okay, I'm on the right path. All right, I'm doing what it takes. And this is more encouraging because of the fact that I know that life is a school. And I'm here to learn. I'm here to learn my lessons. Take my classes. Sometimes retake classes. But I want to be in the frame of mind that I'm ready for my surprise quizzes. I'm ready for my midterms. I'm ready for my finals. All right? Because I'm aiming at graduating. All right? I choose to believe that there's a part of everybody that embraces positivity. Even though it's the part that's farthest away from you. And that's because you have low self-esteem. That's because you stopped believing yourselves. That's because you've allowed others to program you that you're not worthy. Whatever the case, confirmation. Whatever the case, balance is the fruit of the universe. So I refuse to believe that there are those of you out there that are 100% committed to the downward spiral and refusing to open your minds to learn something. In fact, the fact that you're listening to this episode alone is proof that there is something in you. It doesn't matter how deep inside it goes, but there is something in you that believes in hope. All right? That is ready and present to hear that one thing that clicks and that assists you in your efforts to transform, baby steps at a time. Yes, I still believe in you. And the goal today is that you believe in you too. But how are we going to arrive at that? It's going to take opening our eyes. All right? Because we've been confirmation. We've been going on through life for long enough with our eyes closed. Let's open them. Now, earlier today, I made a mention of standardized spirituality. And to give you a clue of where I'm going with this, it's in relation to ethics. What it means to be ethical in our practice of spirituality. We'll first begin with the definition of ethics, although there are a plethora of them available online. I'll share the first one that I come across. And it reads, moral principles that govern a person's behavior or the conducting of an activity. Now, just because you call yourself spiritual, and I'm referring to those that are not just under the umbrella of being spiritual, but are practicing, and some of them that are practicing with the public. All right? This is what this is in the direction of. So, just because you feel that you have a gift, whether you were initiated to obtain it, or you inherited it, or however, whatever means it came across, does not mean that utilizing it in a manner that is inappropriate is going to be free of, how should I put this? It's like I'm coming up with words, but I'm like, nah, I don't want to use this. I don't want to use that. But we'll go with the first one I didn't want to use. I didn't want to use karma. I wanted to use another word. But for lack of a better word, we're going to go with karma. Like, it doesn't mean that you're going to be free of karma just because you figure that you're well learned, or else that you come from a lineage, you inherited it, and whatever the case might be. Like, you classifying yourself as being above the law. All right. That does not mean, let me stress it, that you will not receive your karma. It doesn't matter how much experience you feel you have, and, you know, the connections you feel you have, and the associations, the brotherhoods, the sisterhoods that you belong to. Let me repeat myself. That does not mean that you will escape karma. Okay? And this is what you are witnessing in society today. There were a lot of people who were pretty smug in their interactions, right? Thinking, I'm above the law. I command. I am the law. You know, that God complex. Disregarding that there is a chain of command. All right? There are angels, there are archangels, there is God. Right? And there are several different energies that lend their services all throughout this multiverse. We make it work together, right? This is why it takes our will in alignment with God's will that can allow us to present something that will benefit us all, enabling us the privilege of manifestation, right? It's time for us to stop living in fantasy. I mean, there's no other way to put it. You know what I'm saying? Reality is a better place to be. All right? Fantasy could be very costly. And I'm sure you are witnessing this. Either it's in your life personally or in lives of those that, whether they are your friends or your enemies, but you're witnessing this at some capacity in the lives of those that we are experiencing some type of connectivity to. And that is in order for us to learn from each other's experiences. All right? Because the wisest are those that can learn from others' mistakes rather than making the mistake yourself and having to deal with the repercussions yourself. Right? And I choose to believe that those of you that are listening are on a path that is leading you in the direction of experiencing more and more wisdom in your life. Not only through the fact that we are processing things together and sharing experiences and so forth, but Because you are accepting the fact that yes, there is a chain of command. Yes, there is a God, a Most High. There are laws. There are regulations. Now, the reason why these laws and regulations are necessary is because it benefits us all. If there were no standard, if there were no way of measuring, no boundaries, there would be complete chaos. And this is why it benefits us to have something we can refer to or learn from or set our boundaries in according to, in order to keep us in alignment with God's will, with the mission of proceeding with manifestations that benefit us all. All right? It would begin with ethics, y'all. I mean, it would begin with being ethical. All right? Yes, God is love and love is God. So some would argue it would begin with love. But if you're in love, you're also being ethical as well. Right? What follows the energy of love is being ethical. And to refresh our memories, moral principles that govern a person's behavior or the conducting of an activity. Another definition that you can refer to is the branch of knowledge that deals with moral principles, right? Both of these give us an understanding of what is being called. Now, if you've been listening to me long enough, several times I've mentioned universal law, right? Universal law in law and ethics. Universal law or universal principle refers to concepts of legitimacy, whereby these principles and rules for governing human beings' conduct, which are most universal in their acceptability, their applicability, translation, and philosophical basis are therefore considered to be most legitimate. Now, in the past, I've also read to you what the universal laws are. But I do understand there are those of you that have just joined me on this journey, and to facilitate you, I'm going to share what they are once again. All right? First being law of divine oneness. The first and most fundamental law of the universe is the law of divine oneness, which highlights the interconnectedness of all things. All right? Second law, law of vibration. At a microscopic level, everything is in constant motion, vibrating at a specific frequency. This applies to matter, but also one's personal frequency as well. This law says that our vibrational frequency can inform our lived experiences. 3. Law of correspondence. This law states that patterns repeat throughout the universe. And on a personal level, our reality is a mirror of what's happening inside us at that moment. Think, as above, so below. As within, so without. 4. Law of attraction. Undoubtedly the most talked about universal law, right? And that's because it has something with you getting something out of it. It has to do with you getting something out of it. But the law of attraction is often used for manifestation. It says that like attracts like, and you get what you focus on. Not only that, but you have to believe that your seeking is possible to obtain. Very important. Law number 5, law of inspired action. Closely related to the law of attraction, the law of inspired action is all about taking those real, accountable steps to invite what we want into our lives. Often, the inspiration comes from within. Law number 6, law of perpetual transmutation of energy. This law states that on an energetic level, everything in the universe is constantly evolving or fluctuating. Every action is preceded by a thought, with thoughts themselves having the power to eventually manifest in our physical reality. And something comes to mind. I want to take a pause because something comes to mind of where I can share an example in relation to this. And that is, there was once someone in my life that was holding a grudge against me, right? Not because the offense I made to that person like it came from firsthand, meaning it's not something that I personally did to the person, but the person was holding a grudge against me because of something someone else that is in connection to me did to them. But I remember clearly the person making the remark when I noticed some changes were going on. And I said, what's up with you? Like, what's going on? Why is there a change in your behavior? Like, I'm seeing the efforts I'm making and I'm seeing you not meeting me. And I see this is becoming a pattern, right? And I can do just so much to assist at making things work, but I can't do it alone. And I remember the reply was, well, your so-and-so did such and such to me. What makes you think that I can forgive you after your so-and-so did something to me? Now, if we refer back to this, the law that states that on an energetic level, everything in the universe is constantly evolving or fluctuating. Every action is preceded by a thought, with thoughts themselves having the power to eventually manifest in our physical reality. So because this person was in the mindset that I said rent for some reason. And that's probably because this person didn't know how to pay rent. But moving back to what I was saying, this person was in the illusion that he was in his right to be angry first at the person that set a boundary, because she was not allowing him to abuse her further. Any further. Because sometimes when you let when you let people ride on you, meaning you don't require any of their input, or, they're not lending a hand to you. They're just, taking from you. They're just, it's another way of abusing someone. When you're capable of being responsible for yourself, but you choose to not do it because you want to be able to move forward, as you use someone else's resources, right? And not have any gratitude, in fact, dislike the person that you're taking from. Not even dislike, hate. Want to kill in the process of killing. All right? But still, you expect the person to continue to give because you believe you're somebody. And you believe we're just anybody. Right? That's not acceptable. Because that person set a boundary and said, since you don't want to pay rent, you know what I'm saying? You just want to be here, When people do groceries, you don't want to purchase. You don't want to lend a hand. You don't want to contribute. You don't want to take part of anything. Then why are you here? You're a grown man, right? What's your purpose? What's your worth? Like, what? Make it make sense, right? And so there's an older lady who told me this, but she kind of told me this before, like after I made that faux pas, so to speak, like assist someone in a manner that was temporary. She told me that, listen, never assist in any way that you cannot continue. That's a lesson that one of my great aunts taught me, and it's helped me very much in my life. And because you are in a stage of moving forward, I feel that that could be of assistance to you. Never do what you are not comfortable with continuing to do. The fact is, a lot of us, we do something because we tell ourselves it's temporary. It's not going to continue forever. You know, anybody can need a helping hand. What's wrong with helping somebody? What's wrong with sharing with somebody? The point is, another comment someone once made to me before, which is, not everyone is like you. Because you would not take advantage of another person does not mean that another would not take advantage of you. And this is why sometimes when these elders are sharing these types of information, before we ignore them, before we dismiss them, sometimes you just need to think about it. Pause and figure out where in your life can you use it. Because most of the time, they are 100%. Okay? But because of the sixth universal law, the law of perpetual transmutation of energy, so because you're angry with me and everyone that sets a boundary, so then you want to get some type of payback, right? Make me feel some type of hurt or some type of loss, or, but you thought of it first. Right? And after the thought came the manifestation of it in physical reality. And this is why we have to be careful with our thoughts, right? Especially when they are not in alignment. I'm hearing when they are not in alignment with the good of all. So you may feel something may benefit you, but how is it benefiting another? If it's not benefiting both parties, then it is not in alignment for the good of all. Now, if you want to go further into understanding that, it also goes in the direction of, if someone is not being responsible, right? Not interacting with others with a sense of maturity, then you need to set a boundary, right? Because setting a boundary benefits us all, right? It teaches the person that I need to contribute. It teaches a person as an adult, it requires adulting. It teaches a person that, I need to treat people how I want to be treated. So there are many other ways to look at it. But in the end, it always has to benefit us all. And sometimes that will be in sense of a lesson for you, right? An opportunity for you to grow. And sometimes it will be in the energy of you speaking up for yourself. Now I have an angel number to share with you, so give me a sec. It's something I could share with you, but I still believe it's a personal message. But I can share parts of it because I feel that we can all benefit. Know that your intentions and manifestation prayers are being noted and answered in the perfect time sequence. For your soul and the highest, the highest good of the world. You see, earlier I was saying the highest good of all. But that's another way to put it. The highest good of the world. And I think how that relates to me personally is the fact that I've shared with many of you before that I've been called to live out loud. Like there's a lot of things I share that those in my immediate circle don't necessarily jump up about. Because they're like, that's personal. That's your business. That's something people can try to use against you later. And I try to explain to them, no, it's not because I don't know that people can't try to stab me in the back. That's part of my message, that people stab each other in the back. But my reality is what I was called to do. It's what I was called to do, which is live out loud. And the reason why I am called to live out loud, not all of you are, but I am, is because through my life, I'm just composing myself. People will see the power of God, right? When you see what God did for me, and this is why He allowed me to go through certain things, certain stages that I till this day don't feel I deserved, all right? Certain betrayals, certain defamations of character, being stolen from, people literally hiring hitmen to kill me, being put under a spell. Oh, people, I've been through it. You understand? I've been through it. And I remember I went to God about it. I'm like, do you have a problem with, I had to go there, literally. Because, you all should take a moment when you notice that your life is not making sense. Like, you see what you're doing and it's not reflecting what you're doing. It's time for you to ask God, like, what's going on here? Because this ain't adding up. All right? Now, I want to know if you have a problem with me, because I need to know what the problem is. Because obviously I need to fix this problem because I'm tired of it. All right? I'm not trying to be a punching bag. So what is it that you have with me? And I was angry at that time. Very angry. Mostly because I didn't know what I could do about it. Because here I am knowing God is in control. And no harm can come to me unless you allow it to. And I'm being bombarded. I'm feeling stagnant. And although I don't ever go around, I've never done it as a matter of fact. Even since as a child, I've never been the type of person who is like, I'm perfect. I do no wrong. Even since a child. Like I said, you see, I grew up in a very strict religious setting. So every day it would cross your mind. Can I make it to heaven? I mean, literally. Can I make it to heaven? Because you heard it so much. You're going to go to hell if you do this. You're going to go to hell if you do this. So I've never been, I'm scot-free. I've always been the one that's checking myself. This is one of the reasons why I find it so mind-boggling that others feel that God has elected them in my life to shower me with input. And I'm trying not to laugh, and mostly because I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't care what you feel about it. Right? Can I just be 100 with you right now? Like, your opinion is nothing but your rude awakening when it comes to me. All right? But that's mostly because I'm always checking myself. So you need to get online. Although it will never be your time. All right? Because all that matters is I feel that I am in alignment with God's will. That's the only thing that I weigh when it comes to my relationship with God. Because half of these people throwing stones and whatever, hiding hands and so forth, oh, you don't want to see their closets. All right? You don't want to see the mold. All right? You don't want to see the pest infestations. You don't want to smell the odors. You don't want to do that. You see, a lot of people, they have a lot of energy to be, looking in this direction and in that direction and that direction because they're afraid to go within. They're afraid to check themselves. And as much as I am very critical towards myself, I am very open to people's experiences and open to listening to their personal traumas and so forth. I am not a believer in making others feel less than. I am here to assist people in the journey of healing. So sometimes to heal, you got to spot what is wounding you so you can remove it so you can clean it, right? And apply proper dressing on it, all right? With a mission to heal it. But because I'm called to heal, that doesn't only mean me sharing textbook with you. It's also me sharing my journey of what I've experienced, how God got me through it, how that's the only reason you hear me right now. That's the only reason I'm alive right now. Can I testify? That's the only reason I made it. Right? Because God was going to use my story. God is using my story to save other lives. So those of you who are going through something, angry with yourself, telling yourself you must have done something to deserve this, the message I have for you is no, not all of you did. Some of you have experienced these hardships, confirmation. Some of you have experienced these hardships because you were called to be a teacher. And just as God said to me when I asked him, do you have a problem with me? I need to know. Please. He took his time. There's no reason for me to lie to you to say, oh, he just jumped to the occasion and said, oh, this is how I'm going to respond. No, he took his time. Means I had to utilize patience as well. All right. He took his time. And when he got ready, he shared with me confirmation. You are called to be a teacher, right? And so in order for you to be a teacher, you would have to take the classes, right? You would have to learn the lessons. You would have to pass the tests. And it awakened me to the fact that since the beginning, of being part of the career spectrum of my life, I've always been attracted to education. And this is what a lot of you will realize. A lot of you who are still questioning, what is my soul's purpose? What is my soul's purpose? A lot of you will be surprised to realize that you're already in it. You're already doing it. In fact, the revelation of what your soul's purpose is just going to be confirmation of what you're already doing. All right? Especially those of you that are in helping careers. Those of you that enjoy working with people, enjoy helping people, enjoy healing people. A lot of you were born to be healers. Those of you who've been educating people for as long as you could remember were born to educate people. And a lot of you wear many hats. Some of you were also called to teach, but you were also called to heal, but you were also called to be an oracle. But you, like some of us, I'm speaking from my experience. I cannot box myself in any category and say I am a spiritual teacher. I am, a healer. I am an oracle. And the reason why is because I was born to wear many hats. Some of us was born to wear many hats. And it's not because there's been some type of mistake in giving gifts, but it's because of our willingness to remain in the energy of giving. Like some of us don't know how to stop. You understand? Like some of us, God has to tell you, retreat. All right? Some of you actually need to pray about it, that God will give you a cue when to retreat. Because if he doesn't, you fall under the workaholic category. You go beyond necessary to give some more. Without getting so deep into it, I recall a stage in my life where I was teaching 5 days a week. On Saturdays, you would see me with youth group. On Sundays, after Sunday school, you would see me on the drums. Confirmation. This is somebody that keeps going and going like an Energizer bunny. But God had to teach me the necessity of balance. And he brought it to my life, right? After a while, he brought it to my life, where I had to willingly, because I wasn't going to wait to, fall on my face. In fact, I pay attention. That's something a lot of you need to do more of. Pay attention to your circles. And sometimes it's not even in your immediate circle. Sometimes it could be someone you follow on the radio, on the television. But pay attention. I remember in that season, it could have been one or two individuals that I was following that got caught being in the wrong place, in the wrong time, doing the wrong thing. This is what happens when we refuse to accept that although we are spiritual beings, but we are having a human experience. And there will be times for you to give, but there are also times for you to receive. Even if that means receive some free time. All right? Receive some self-care time. Receive a vacation. Receive what you give. There's a time to give. There's a time to receive. And one strength I have is being able to learn from other people's mistakes. So these two individuals in particular, it was on the news. All right. It was in everyone's mouth in gossip. But rather than jump on that wagon, yeah, I knew that person was fake. I always knew it. I didn't jump on that wagon. You know why? Because no, I did not know what these people were doing behind closed doors. In fact, I believed in them. I believed in their ministry. But the reality is that their life wasn't balanced. Right? They just kept on going. And sometimes people just continue to go. Why? They just looking at that cash flow. Right? And this is one of the reasons why I pay attention. Again, I pay attention to those in any capacity that I find myself following. Right? It could be in spirituality. It could be in any area. But there needs to be a time when you take a break. Right? And I've learned since then, since my 20s, that it's okay. Right? Not only to take a break weekly, but it's okay if you feel overwhelmed with this task and this task and this task. It's okay. For you to find yourself connecting to whoever your supervisor is or your head leader is or whatever, and say, you know what? I enjoy doing such and such for, whatever group that you're ministering to or working with or whatever, confirmation. However, I'm in a stage of my life right now where I feel God is calling me to step down. All right? Now, there are many reasons you could be called to step down. Not only because of the fact that you're overwhelmed, you're tired. I can tell you, I'm not telling you anything that I didn't experience, people. I've been there. Like I said, being in ministry 7 days a week, I've been there, okay? Where I said, you know what? I'm not going to be able to assist in this capacity anymore. I will continue to do this. And I was responsible with what I committed myself to. Right? If you need me to train someone, if you need me, this is how it's done. All right. This is how God respects it. And also I'm being led to tell you that you better talk to God first for him to tell you, what he's comfortable with, what you putting down. I'm just, don't put me in any of your, situations that you end up being sorry about. Okay. Clearly you got to talk to God. Okay. These types of programming that, you're experiencing right now should be more of a confirmation to you rather than, being a guide to you in everything you do without going to God, without talking to God, without praying about it, without waiting, like, let's get it together now. All right. I share my life. You take what you want. You leave the rest. and you make it work for your best. Okay? There's only one God. And I like to remind you that we are all on this journey. We should all be doing the best that we can. Right? I don't subscribe to those leaders who, want to make you believe I'm better than you because I'm perfect, because I never do nothing wrong. No, like I said, I've been there where I had to say, you know what? I can't do this right now. I'm going to have to step down at this capacity. And let me tell you, that's the best thing I could have ever done for myself. Why? I don't know how these other folks do it, but I'm not the type that can practice what I'm not, that can preach what I'm not practicing. When you find yourself in a situation where you start questioning certain things about your faith, in fact, you have a desire to explore. In fact, there are certain things, certain principles, or certain philosophies that were never brought to you that you find yourself attracted to. You want to learn more about. You want to understand. Like I said, I cannot preach what I'm not practicing. Some can do it, right? And those are the ones that fall on their face. Those are the ones that get exposed. Whatever you're doing, make sure you can do it full-heartedly. Make sure not only you're doing this physically, but your mind is in it. Your emotions are in it. I mean, you 100% in it. All right, because those are the people that can do it successfully. Meaning you wake up today and yes, you want to have a certain schedule, right? You want to conform to society and have a certain schedule, right? But you don't feel God is telling you, I need you to speak today. You don't feel that. In fact, you didn't hear that. In fact, you didn't see no sign of that. But, well, I need to do a schedule, so I'm going to do it anyway. So you find yourself creating something that wasn't God inspired, right? Something that wasn't charged with the energy of transformation. Now, I want to ask the wise. Do you think you will be able to employ the same type of delivery as you would on a day God said, wake up. I need you to go talk about this right now. Okay, we're not negotiating this right now. I said like right now. Like whatever you're doing, like right now. You need to get into this right now. You see, when you follow that type of guidance, it doesn't matter what you was in, what you was doing, how you felt. He will give you the energy that you need, right? If you were sleepy, you will find yourself, fully awake, right? Even there are times that You do your research, right? But you could have done a lot more research. And you find yourself sharing more than you ever had. Why? Because it's channeled. Because God needed you at a certain place, at a certain time, doing a certain thing. And this is why you need to trust that God knows best. There are some of you that are being called at some type of capacity to contribute in some type of way, that are debating, well, how am I going to do this? You know, before you even started, you're trying to create a plan, a schedule, and, you know, comparing yourself to others. And the message I'm receiving for you today is chill out. Did you hear me? As long as you are in the energy of love, as long as you are practicing being ethical, as long as you are in the mindset of the benefit for all, you will fulfill what you were called to fulfill. One of the first things you need to detach from in order to please God with your participation when it comes to performance. And I said that strategically because I could have just said in your performance, but when you work for God, it's your participation in your performance, because you are led, you are guided, He inspires, you channel. You understand? One of the first things you need to do is detach from all those that are bringing you down, that are telling you you can't do it, that are laughing at you. I'm hearing intuition. All those your intuition is telling you that are foes, detach from them all. All right? No excuses given. That energy is needed elsewhere. Next, pay attention to those that appear to be in competition mode with you. All right? Because those are the ones that, after detaching, you need a block. All right? It doesn't matter if they're family, friend, co-work. Those are the ones that go on block, right? Because this is not about your performance anymore. This is your performance in alignment to God's inspiration. You don't make a schedule for this. All right. What I'm hearing now is those of you that want to make a schedule for this, one of the ways you can go about it is doing what God calls you to do, right? If He inspires you right now, I need you to create such and such right now. Get to it right now, right? When it's completed, you ask God, is it okay if I publish this for this and this time? Or do you need me to do it right now? And confirmation. And go with that. Most creators understand your creations come with inspiration, right? When you're just in the mindset, no, I have to create. I just have to create. I just have to put something out there. You will always lack. And that's because you didn't wait on the inspiration. This is why some people have writer's block. It's not that you can't write. It's not that you can't pick a topic and write on and write on it. It's the fact that when you allow the inspiration to lead you, what ends up happening is, it's a flow going on. You just swimming your way through this. But when you are just doing it generically, mechanically rather, first of all, the passion isn't there, right? The love is not shown. How you take your time, how you look at the details, how you add it together, how you harmonize. It's not there. It's not there because you didn't care to wait on God's cue. This is what we are being called to do. Yes, there are those that are, producing content here and, right and left and, in every direction with every blink. Yes, there is. But remember, it's not about quantity. It's about quality. And God is not calling you to work hard. He's calling you to work smart. And the way you work smart, again, is in the energy of love, right? Practicing being ethical. Now, I did not know that I was going to go into so much detail with you when it comes to transmutation of energy, but again, I'm led. And I will continue to share what I'm being led to share. Right? Because that's my purpose here. Now, as I was sharing with you, I said, God, do you want me to just continue and disregard the remainder of the universal laws because this is something they can look up to. And he shared with me, it's not about you being perfect in delivery. It's about you doing what I ask of you. And so although I took a chunk of time to elaborate on my experience with law number 6, I am going to comply with what I'm being asked to do and share with you number 7, which is law of cause and effect. Relatively straightforward, this law highlights the direct relation between actions and events. What's important to note here is that we can often what's important to note here is we often can't see confirmation, the effects right away, but they will come back around. See? There's a reason why God wanted me to continue this, because this is very important. This is something that I will be sharing about today, the law of cause and effect. It's another way of saying karma. Even if we can't see the effects right away, they will come back around. I'm sure most of you have heard what comes around goes around. And this is why we need to remember the definition of ethics. The branch of knowledge that deals with moral principles. So, before attacking someone because you feel like you're in the dark and nobody's going to see you and you're going to get away with it, and it's funny. Before you do that, confirmation, consider, am I ready to deal with cause and effect? I did such and such, so I must experience such and such. Right? Are you ready for it? Because if you're not, you should think twice. And the reason why all of this is even necessary, as far as me sharing these laws with you, is to prove to you that there are rules and regulations. Okay? And there are consequences that come about when we don't abide by them. Right? Explaining what we are witnessing in whether it's our present circumstances or in the present circumstances of others. Some in our circles and some not. But regardless, we are witnessing it in some way. All right? It is impossible for you to be around in this time and not witnessing the law of cause and effect. No, it's impossible. All right? Law number 8. Yeah, this is so clear why he wanted me to go over all of them. Law of compensation. The law of compensation relates closely to the law of attraction and the law of correspondence. You reap what you sow is the main takeaway. With the law stating your efforts will always come back to you positively. So, the same way you reap what you sow, meaning someone came at you in the wrong way. All right? Offended you, disrespected you, stole from you, lied on you, and so forth. They will receive compensation. However, if you came in the energy of love, effort, sincerity, loyalty, your efforts will always come back to you positively. What I want to share with you guys, because a lot of you haven't come across this yet. The person that you did something good, like the persons that you blessed in some manner, is not necessarily the person that is going to come back with that positive energy. All right? In fact, many times it's not the person that you bless that blesses you. Many times it's someone you never even, first of all, you didn't expect it from the person because you never did it for the person. You didn't see it coming. It comes in, it surprises you when it happens, right? But then God has a way of reminding you, yeah, I know you're grateful that so-and-so just blessed you this way. But remember, because most of us, we don't remember what we do for people, right? It's sometimes God that has to remind us, remember, you did this for this person. And it kind of reinforces why we should continue to do good. Because you will always benefit from what you do for others to help them in their lives, when it was needed the most. Never doubted. Never hesitated because you're saying, oh, most of the times I do things for people and they never do it for me. Don't allow yourself to be stagnant when it comes to being high vibrational in this world. Even though you may have gone through people that were ungrateful or people that didn't show any loyalty or what other ways that you may have experienced being backstabbed or whatever, even though remember who you are. Remember how God made you. Embrace that energy. Now, this is not me saying ignore reality. This is me saying embrace that energy and ask God to continue to guide your steps. Because He doesn't make you and me for the purpose of others just to abuse you and take advantage of you and, disregard you. He doesn't make us for the purpose of being exploited. But at the same time, do it in wisdom. If that's something you lack, I always tell people you can pray for anything and everything. If that's something you lack, like wisdom, confirmation, that's something you can pray about. That's something you can ask God for. Can you give me wisdom? Can you increase my capacity of wisdom so I can engage with others, utilizing that type of knowledge that will assist me on my journey? If you go to God with a sincere heart, and if you are in your truth when you're saying that you want to help others, you want to do good in this world, He will not ignore your call. I can guarantee that. I'm hearing continue trusting in God. No matter what you went through, no matter what you're going through, continue trusting in God. The next one, law of relativity. The law suggests that we are inclined to compare things in our world. But in reality, everything is neutral. Relativism exists in all things. And in the end, meaning comes down to our perspective and perception. My understanding of things may not be your understanding of things because you didn't experience what I experienced and I didn't experience what you experienced. So it exists in all things, but in the end, Meaning comes down to our perspective. How I see it is how I experienced it. And perception, my understanding of it, is in relation to such and such. It could be my morals, my values, my upbringing. All of those things can influence your perception of things, right? Applying this law can help us understand the tougher parts of our lives with greater compassion. Let me tell you, one of the hardest things to do, confirmation, on this spiritual journey is when you're being asked to view it from the other person's perspective. I remember that didn't sit with me. That didn't sit with me well the first time I heard it. I was like, are you serious? Like somebody that lied on me, someone that stole from me, someone that continues to try to kill me, somebody that, are you serious? Like, where is the validity in their perspective? Like, what does that mean? Because I would have been the first to dismiss it. But the reason why I was guided to do this was to not just learn it from my perspective, but also learn it from their perspective, so I will fully master the lesson that was taught. That is why you're being called to see it from their perspective. Can it be done? I can confess to you, yes, it can. Yes, it can. Although I don't want to go in this direction with you right now, but this is what I'm being called to do, so here I go. My story involves an ex that was committing adultery, right? That I'm thankfully divorced to now. No, for real though. I am. You see, you gotta look at what you've gained from it. It's about perspective, right? So, when I was told that I have to look it from the other person's point of view, look at it from his point of view, then look at it from his mistress's point of view, what I gathered from it was necessary, because God knew it would teach me, but God knew He would also make me share this with you, and it would teach you as well. Some of you are going through this right now. Some of you may experience this, although I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. All right? But some of you may have this experience later on in life, and you'll be able to come back to this. Not necessarily this episode, but in your mind. It'll cross your mind. I remember she said, and assist you in making wiser decisions, right? So when it came to the Judas in my life, that was in my life, point of correction. And his perspective, okay, he was raised a certain way. The morals and values I was exposed to, he wasn't. Clearly, he wasn't. Like, I remembered the kind of energy that my parents would have whenever they heard someone stole something. It was like a disgust. Like, show no mercy. You understand? So, due to that, I grew up knowing you should never steal. I could get caught doing this, and that, but I will never steal. You understand what I'm saying? Like, certain things, again, it's about law of relativity. It's about perception and perspective, right? So, you should never kill. I know how many times I heard that from church. I know how many times my family said that. I know how many times I heard that from school. I know I'm not capable of. You know, some of us really, for real though, we can't see that happening. That can't even be a figment of our imagination. To be in the mindset of killing another. That's deep. And some people, whether it's through experience of the physical world or the spiritual world, they've witnessed it. They've witnessed their parents, their grandparents, their aunts, their uncles, their cousins sacrifice others, right? In my family, we would call such people literally, okay, if you translate it in the language, my native language, it would be translated as monster. We would see such people as being monsters, because what does that differentiate? How am I supposed to differentiate someone that's willing to sacrifice another from being a monster? Like, how can I as I said, differentiate that? That's what you are, right? And so I would never be caught trying to sacrifice somebody. Whether it was by means of spirituality or by means of literally hiring a hitman. Like, this, to me, meant insanity. This is how I would, that's the only way I'd be able to process it. Well, if somebody's crazy, I guess. And trust and believe, there was a season in my life, I said, I'm not even going to insult crazy people like that, because they don't know what they're doing. Right? They really don't. But if you can calculate, if you can premeditate, if you can organize groups and be a leader too. Like I said, Why should I insult crazy people? Clearly, you're something below that category. Right? Then I was like, okay, I'm trying to see it from their perspective again. Well, could it be because I'm of the light and because they're of the dark? Even in that, there are some people that subscribe to being dark. For example, dark empath, right? That still would not engage in that type of behavior with that label, dark, with the label of like another group that could say, okay, we do black magic. There are those confirmation. There are those that even that subscribe to black magic that still, did I stress still could not betray someone to that degree, could not sacrifice someone. See, it's all in relation to, again, in perspective and perception. Meaning, you grew up in a family that said, okay, we do this type of magic, right? So you adapt to it. You say you do it too because that's what you were programmed to say it. That does not mean that you're going to be in their energy. So there are certain things that great-grandma did or great-great-great-great-grandma did that you wouldn't be caught dead doing. Right? You utilize that same type of quote-unquote black magic in relation to what? Obtaining your freedom. Do you follow me? Perspective and perception. You utilize it in areas of standing up to your oppressors. Perspective and perception. Balance is the fruit of the universe. You could utilize anything that's good for bad. You can utilize anything that's bad for good. Ask God. He utilized all the darkness my enemies brought into my life. He utilized that. Because I was, God, you allowed this. You allowed this. You allowed this. You knew they was lying on me. You knew they stole from me. You knew they were defaming my character. You knew I never was behaving in such manner. You knew that wasn't my lifestyle. You knew I didn't have such diagnosis. But God, you allowed it, God. God, what is confirmation? What beef you have with me? I need to know. God knew the future. I didn't have that foreknowledge. He only let me know what was necessary for me to know. Right? He knew he was going to use every single thing they said about me. Every single thing they did to me. Every single threat they exposed me to. He knew that would be manifested in their lives. You see that? He knew enough to tell me that when you share your prophecy, tell them. All right? And tell them in a crowd. Right? This is why you found me on social media. This is why. tell them in a crowd that people will see them for who they are. Because everything they said about you. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. You're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy. You're worthy, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Everything they said about you, every bow and arrow that was turned to you will return to sender. And people, it did not take me having to knock on a door of a spiritual practitioner of any sort, all right, to ask me to fight back all those covens they had against me on every continent, all over this world. Not even speaking of the islands that they included as well. I didn't have to till this day. And I love that I will always have that testimony. I never had to knock on anybody's door. You hear me? I'm going to say that again. Because some of y'all don't get the power that you have when you allow God to lead and when you keep your hands free. Free of retaliation. When you keep it free and you keep it clean. I never had to knock on any spiritual practitioner's door. Oh, I need you to, return that to sender. I need you to reverse it to them. I need you to curse them in this way. Since they did that to me, I want you to do worse. I want you to do this. I never did it. Y'all get it now? It was never done. God allowed me to win this battle against an army. Of many. Versus an army of one. Do you see why you need to believe in prophecy? In 2019, I said, God told me I'm going to have a very hard time. Tears, hurts, surprises, betrayals. Oh, I'm going to experience things that could almost break me. But he told me in the end, he told me in the end that story would be known worldwide. He also told me your name will be known for several generations after your passing. I remember I shared this as if it was yesterday. I shared this with someone. I thought I could. According to my marriage certificate, he was a spouse. If you can't share a revelation God gives to you with your spouse, who can you share it with? I just want to know. Because I want to know what business he has to be your spouse if you can't share a revelation that God made to you with him. Unless God himself said not to. Right? Well, God didn't tell me not to. And I did tell him. I said, this is what God said. That my name will be known for several generations, even after my passing. That I would be heard all across the world. He laughed. Oh, people, you should have heard the laugh. It came with so much mockery. He laughed. Sucked his teeth. A little too feminine for me. You understand? But ever since I was a child, I never allowed anything that anybody said in regards to my plans be deterred because you laughed. In fact, that was fuel. I was going to do it in your face. This is how I've always been. So when he laughed, the human side of me felt rejected. It also felt resentment. Because although I didn't say it out loud, I've never in my life laughed at somebody's dream. And in this case, it wasn't even just a dream. It was a revelation. I could never laugh at someone sharing me. Even if I didn't believe, I could not laugh in their face. It's just me. I cannot belittle people like that. It's not in me. You understand? So when this was done, all that certified was, you're on your own. That's what it certified. You have no support. No one believes in you. Everyone is expecting for you to fail. I'm being told to speak in my truth, and so I will. I believed in me. God believed in me. And at the time, my child believed in me. And I say that at the time because today it's not only my child. Praise God. It's not only my child that believes in me. I have a team that believes in me. Today I have someone that cares about me, that loves me, that would never allow me to doubt myself. You understand? But there are stages in life. First, you got to show God that I'm still gonna stand, even if it's just you and me. I'm still gonna believe. I'm still gonna do what you ask of me. I'm still gonna do it. And even if it's your 8-year-old or 9-year-old, I believe in you, Mom. I love you, Mom. You can do anything, Mom. Even if that's the only cheerleader you have. That's enough. With you believing in you, with God believing in you, with your baby believing in you, right? That was enough for me. You know why it was enough for me? No, I didn't live the perfect life. No, I didn't have the best childhood. But every effort that was made was made. And one of the efforts that were made was confidence. You know how one parent lacks in one area, but they make up for it in so much in another area? You disregard what they lacked in this area. I had that. I had a parent, if I told him I'm going to be president of the United States of America, he would say, you can do it. That's what I had. I had that ingrained in me. When I first started college, I was pre-law. And I had someone that was married into this family, right? He's not blood. He was married into this family. And that's our connection. But I remember when he asked me, what are you majoring in? And I told him I'm pre-law. And I remember he said, you should have went for being a paralegal. Law is gonna be too difficult for you. That was his perspective and his perception. Why? Chances are he grew up in a setting that told him, you can't. And this same person, years later, after he said, you can't, did not know that God would use me as an advocate for those who are abused, those confirmation. Sometimes I know what to say, but it hurts to say it. You know? Those who were stolen from, those who were betrayed, those who experience sexual exploitation. He knew he was going to use me in that capacity. That's why he merited that attraction to me. That's why I have a background. That same person who told me, you can't be such and such, till this day, he hasn't arrived. He has not arrived to my level of degree in education. You see what I'm saying? It's the ones that are below you, right? The ones that can't. The ones that don't have what it takes. Those are the ones that want to bring you down. Those are the ones that want to tell you you can't. Those are the ones. And God is so merciful. He's so great. I remember years past, and I'm talking years past, y'all, years past. And I lived with that. And every time I saw that man, I resented him for that. That he tried to put doubt in my life. You know? But God made it that I was able to love him at a distance. This is not someone I can never be close to ever again. Right? This is someone that will forever be long spoon fed. Like, this is not someone I can never, confirmation, I can never be close to again. Right? But I can tolerate the person as long as I'm in my space and he's in his space. I could tolerate him. You understand? So God can heal that too. But even in his efforts of telling me you can't, till this day, I didn't allow you can't to determine what I did. Because even though I had the initiative of becoming a lawyer, still I had an attraction to psychology. And that was in relation to the behaviors I've witnessed in my life, what I saw growing up. I wanted to learn something that I could apply in my life that would assist me to live my best life. Learn something, gain some type of wisdom, some type of philosophy, some type of understanding that would assist me in being happy. This is where my love for psychology confirmation began. And it caused me to continue in that direction. But even in my love for wanting to learn and understand, oh, I love the kids, people. I love the kids. So I had to major in education too. And I said, well, I could use both of them. I could be a child psychologist, because I said, I want to do something that I will enjoy doing. I want to do something for the rest of my life that won't even appear as if I am working. I want to enjoy what I do. This is why I always had people that volunteered to assist me in areas of letters of recommendation and such, because I didn't only study it, but I made it my business to take part in it on my academic journey. Whether I was volunteering or working, I was always in that area of education, counseling, and so forth. God has done so much with me. But He allows me to see the whole perspective. In order to change my perception and not just have me in a corner with a victim mentality. Oh, the world wasn't good to me. Oh, somebody told me I can't be this. Oh, this person told me I wasn't smart. Oh, this person. He doesn't allow me to do that. He helped me to understand. Somebody told him he can. That's why till this day, he don't have an ounce of what I have academically. You understand me? He don't. And it's not, that hasn't made him less than me, because believe it or not, there are places he's arrived in life that there are those with degrees that can't get there. Why? Sometimes it's the family you marry into. Sometimes it's the circles you find yourself in. Confirmation. Sometimes, even though you couldn't do it, someone you knew could do it, and they assisted in lifting you. So even if academically he could not achieve at some capacity, but he was able to I'm trying to find the right word. Remain in circles that would benefit him tomorrow, for a lack of a better way of saying it. And so, in my description of him today, even though he told me I can't, I still would say he can. Sometimes God is not using just your academic level. Sometimes He's using your passion, right? Sometimes He uses all of it together. Sometimes He uses your connection. Sometimes He's using your talents. It's everything put together. But the reason why we discriminate in areas of complexion and class and race and nationality, and it's ignorance. It's ignorance. Those of you that know the story of Jesus, He was born in a stable. I said a stable. By trade, confirmation. By trade, he was a carpenter. And then there are those in today's society that hear somebody with a college degree, somebody with an education, somebody with experience, oh, they're below us. She's below us. Don't you know she's Haitian? She don't have what we have. She don't have a Benz. Meanwhile, it's because she never had drug money. Mic drop. Yeah. She don't get her nails like us. She doesn't wear bling like us. Meanwhile, she doesn't like your taste and style. You know? She prefers a classier look. Less street cornerish. You feel me? And so sometimes in the attempt of trying to make people lower, you expose yourself, right? Because as much as you may feel that you're on a pedestal because you wear this bling or whatever you call it, some others in other circles will call it tacky. Would have commentary like you never knew you would have it. I've heard this all my life. When we would crack at other people, you know, who arrive at such and such and such and such, and we're like, we always had this. Like before we even moved to America, we had this. Like, it's a saying, I've heard it a million times before. Upate kwe. Like you never believed in yourself. Like it's like, you notice, it's the people that grew up a certain way with a certain lack. They're the ones mostly, pay attention, that feel the need to, I forget the words because I'm not in that energy, but I think they call it stun on people. Like try to show off. Look at this shirt I'm wearing. Look at the name of another human being on it. I'm somebody because I got somebody's name on me. Yo. But what about my name though? You see, my name is the energy I want to be in. I remember somebody told me this long time ago. And this is why I never allow people to utilize their small thinking to affect me, for lack of a better way of saying it, because of the fact a pastor of mine said it best. You know, he used to be my pastor back in the day, and he said, you will always meet people in life that try to put you down. But how you combat with it is the same people that put you down about something, about whatever it is they're trying to put you down about, that same thing someone else valued to the point they complimented you on it. So whatever it is that they're putting you down about, delete that voice and remember the voice that gave you a compliment or a word of encouragement in that same department. And this is how I've lived my life, because everything people use against me today, as far as my enemies or the Judases in my life, or the Jezebels that tried to get in my life, and I always had somebody before you that reminded me that they saw I was somebody too. It wasn't just a personal experience. They saw it in me too. This is sort of personal, but it's a memory I savor, right? It's one of the reasons why fashion, when it comes to me, it's just what I like. If I like it, I like it. Designer or not. If I like it, I like it. All right? So this person told me, one of the things I like about you? You make the clothes. The clothes don't make you. There's a difference. And when he said it, it just went in one ear and it went out the other. Like sometimes people say things, but they're so used to complimenting you. You're used to it, right? So I didn't pay close attention to it. It was much later on in life when it came back to me, I remembered that. And I said, yeah, because some clothes people wear them because they have a price tag on it, or because they have designer on it, or whatever. And that is the energy that they feel is carrying them. Right? And then there are other people that will be in business casual, but their presence, confirmation on the dot, their presence, their interaction, their promise lights up the room. And that helped me to remain in my confidence. Know that I'm more than someone's brand. I'm more than somebody's weave. I'm more than some claws that I call fingernails. I'm more than that. You see? Because what I have comes from within. Right? And it shows all about. And this is to assist and heal and encourage somebody out there who quite frankly had a loser in their life, who wanted to classify them as themselves, who wanted to project how they saw themselves onto you. I want you to tell yourself, I was somebody before I met so-and-so, right? And I want you to remember who you was. I need you to remember the compliments that you heard when you was growing up. Some of you heard you were smart. Some of you heard you were pretty. Some of you heard you were neat. Some of you heard you were friendly. Some of you heard you were leader since your childhood. Go back. Because some of y'all going to have to dig deep. I know because there's a lot of haters along the way. But you need to go back as deep as you can. You need to go back. It's time to go back. If you go back for anything, go back for you. Remember who you are. Because there's some dots you want to connect, right? And part of connecting those dots is going back to beginning of the act. In fact, you need that to move forward in your journey. Law of relativity. Then we come to law of polarity. Law number 10. This law says that everything in life has an opposite. Good and evil. Love and fear. Warmth and cold. The key is understanding these are all two sides of the same coin. This reminds us that before we throw rocks and hide hands, those with wisdom, let's hope you have wisdom in your mature age. Those who have wisdom understand two sides of the same coin. So if someone set a boundary, there's a reason why they set that boundary. If someone kicked you out, there's a reason why someone kicked you out. If someone doesn't want to reconcile, there's a reason why this person chose not to reconcile. If someone didn't chase you when you were trying to make them jealous, there's a reason why this person didn't chase you. There's always a reason why. Everything in life has an opposite. Good and evil. Love and fear. Warmth and cold. Now, for some reason, I'm being called to go back to law number 9. Oh my God, like really? Which is law of relativity. Law of relativity. Law of relativity. One more time, law of relativity. And the reason why I was called to come back to that is because I shared the perspective and the perception of the Judas. But I did not share the perspective and the perception of the Jezebel. Clearly, I don't give too much thought to that. Let's take it there. Was just about to slip and say something else, but let's take it there. First of all, law of polarity said 2 sides of the same coin. What I learned, all right, not something I would ever do, because I don't play that. But I'm learning that more and more people are having something called open relationships, right? So if someone has an open relationship, my understanding is that they're with you, but you're allowing them to be with someone else, right? So in acquiring the knowledge that your quote unquote partner says, I like it better where I am, and forget about the plan. Some that subscribe to that type of, how should I put this? Compromise. Let's be nice. Compromise can be upset about that, because that wasn't the plan. The plan was that you was going to stay my man, right? You're wrong because you lied. Perspective and perception. But then there are 2 sides to every coin, to the same coin. And so the same way you can have an agreement with someone to have an open relationship with you and they lied, is the same way they can commit to someone else and they lie. You see the pattern? They lie. In fact, they don't even mention of your existence. All right? The closest thing that they said regarding your existence is, I have an ex. I have an ex that I'm not with anymore because she has bipolar and she's crazy. She stalks me and she put things on my phone so she knows where I am, and I get angry and I can't deal with that. And so never again. See, 2 sides of the same coin. And so this is what separates me from these quote unquote women that are in these polygamous relationships. What separates me from them is the fact, number one, if you are not trying to find the best way to say this, because I can't simply say it, because I would never be in that situation, knowingly be in that situation. Never that. So I'm trying to be in that person's perspective and perspective. If I found that I was that person that was in a, God forbid, God forbid again. All right. In that type of situation, before I try to knock out, put it this way, I would not be trying to knock out any woman. The woman and I did not have any agreement. The person that backstabbed me, the person that betrayed me, the confirmation, the person that did wrong to me is the person I had the agreement with. I would never be chasing another woman in relation to the behavior of a man. I don't get it. I don't get it, but still we are trying to consider perspective and perception. So if I was in the mindset of being someone who saw open relationships as an agreement, and if I was looking at it from that perspective, like I said, I still don't see myself trying to fight for. I just don't, because I feel like I don't want to be with you if you don't want to be. I know everyone's different, I know, but I require a lot. I refuse to be with you knowing that you don't want to be. It's just me, all right? I'm just not going to do it. Like, you're just not that important, all right, for me to chase down and, you're more than me. Like, I've never been in that mindset where this person is more than me. This person is better than me. Again, it's in relation to my upbringing. That's why it's important. You teach your children their history, all right? Teach them about their family. Teach them about successes in life, what we've achieved as a family, what we've acquired as a family, what our academic levels are as a family, what our professional levels are as a family. What do we value? What are our morals? What you need to do that. You need to make time for that, right? Some of us don't have time for that because we have time to go fight another woman about something that she could care less about. Literally. Could care less. Couldn't care less. See, there are priorities in life. A priority to me is not someone that's needy and greedy. Is not someone that cannot be a protector, cannot be a defender. It's not somebody that, has no sense of romance, no sense of, being a gentleman, no sense of nothing. I mean, what am I gaining? If you find yourself in a situation, people, where you got to scratch your head to think of something you can gain here, oh, that's not the one for you. Okay? In case you needed some type of confirmation, let me assist you free of charge in that area. All right? And if you needed confirmation that, yes, the person needed a love spell, there it goes as well. Because if there's nothing about this person that you find remarkable in areas of attraction or your type, what you go after, you know what I'm saying? If you don't see none of that, you know what I'm saying? And you stayed with this person for a certain amount of time, that could be considered wasted time. Please believe, yes, there was a love spell, right? Yes, there was a binding spell. Yes. Yes, there was. Now, those of you that are replying, well, what do I do now? What you do now, ask God to cleanse your energy. Ask Him to teach you everything you need to know in cleansing your energy. Ask Him to teach you everything you need to know in protecting yourself. Ask Him to teach you how to cut those etheric cords. Ask Him to teach you how to cut and destroy soul ties. You need more of God and less of drama. That's how you do it. Now, if you got time for the drama, you will not succeed. In areas that need dire emergency. All right? It's a choice. Everybody has choices. Okay? Also, if we're considering perspective and perception, and then here you are in an open relationship, and then you are witnessing that the person you thought was committed to you is showing more respect to some degree, or in some capacity, to the person that you allowed them to be in a relationship with, or they feel that person is more convenient, more advantageous, more of whatever, yeah, that would make you angry, right? Again, we're all different. This would not lead me to do black magic on someone. Why? Perspective and perception, all right? My values and morals don't align with that type of desperation. So my perception of what is happening in relation to someone cheating is different from someone who feels that At all costs. I need to get him back at all costs. Right? Someone that needs him to pay their bills. Someone that needs him to support them. Right? Again, you see him as a provider. I see him as a beggar. Perspective and perception. Right? Maybe his change can assist you in some way. But we have people with real bills. All right? That costs more than getting your nails done. All right? So finding him or deliberating him as a high value man would never be considered. I said never be considered. Again, but if you're used to a certain quality of men that are successful because they are drug dealers, and then someone else is used to a certain quality of men that are educated, and that's what makes them successful. Have professional careers, have made something of themselves, made a life, like look good on paper. You understand? Again, what you find is gold, what you perceive to be gold, someone may regard as fool's gold. Right? Perspective and perception. Law of relativity. Now, there are other things I could go into in relation to procreation and all of this, but now we're not going to dwell on that. All right. We got important facts, because I believe in you doing you. Confirmation. I'm not here to enforce my beliefs on you. This is why I always share. You take what you want and you leave the rest. I also include that you came to this address, right? It was your choice to come to this address, to listen to this episode, right? So this is not any effort to oppress you or to create drama in your life, to steal from you, especially when we've blocked you in every respect of the word. I'm not responsible for someone that makes confirmation. I'm not responsible for someone that makes fake profiles to come listen to me. I'm not responsible for that, right? I'm not responsible for someone that doesn't understand. No, I'm not responsible for someone that does not understand that after a divorce, I don't need to see you. I don't need to hear from you. I don't need to know nothing about you. Like, it's plain and simple. That's why we have a divorce, right? Thank God for that. Now, the next law is the 11th law of rhythm. Cycles are a natural part of the universe. Physically, you can think about the seasons on Earth, in our own lives. We can remember that integration is just as important as growth. We expect ourselves to be one way all the time. Whether we're thinking about our health or even productivity. But this is not sustainable. Take note of your inner rhythms and try to work with them instead of fighting them. Let me give you an example of that. Some of you have periods during the day where you feel energy at a rise, right? I mean, you're ready to jump, dance, kick. You're full of it. And then other areas you feel more in the chill mode, like you hear, but you don't want to be too much involved in anything. You just want to be left alone sometimes, right? I've learned to embrace my inner rhythm. I've learned to be flexible with my inner rhythm. And this would benefit you too. Maybe those times you feel very energized should be used for fulfilling activities that are taxing. And those times when you are relaxed and not really up to be doing much of anything, probably shouldn't be the time you decide to do cardio or you decide to do spring cleaning. Probably shouldn't. Like, make it work. That's what I'm hearing. Make it work. If you learn how to do that, life will be a breeze. I'm telling you. Because you're not fighting it. You're understanding it. Now, from my personal experience, if there's something I need to do, for example, if I wanted to read a chapter of a book, I need to be alert. All right? So if I'm feeling sleepy, that's not the time I'm going to do it. Now, I understand that we have tasks that we want to fulfill in one day. So some of us may say, I'm going to read chapter 9 today. And if you don't cross it out, you feel like, oh, you didn't accomplish everything on your list. You know, your day wasn't as productive as you wanted it to be, and such and such. But we got to remember, this is real life. Okay? And in real life, life happens. All right? So if you don't read chapter 9 today, tomorrow in your energy space, you can read 9 and 10. We make life complicated. But life doesn't have to be complicated. The next and the last, regarding the universal laws, law number 12, law of gender. The law of gender has to do with the masculine and feminine energy that exists in all things. Our society has historically operated from a masculine hustle and do mentality, which doesn't allow for much room to just be. I think this is what I was just speaking about, where, yeah, there's a time to hustle and do, but there's a time to just be. So in your hustle and do, you're in your masculine energy. In your just be, right? You're in your feminine energy, because it's when you're in that energy of just being is when you attract inspiration, which leads to creation. And so, in order to be balanced, you need to know when to be in your masculine, like in setting a boundary. When you need to be your feminine, in the sense of giving someone a hug. There's a time and place for both. It says, achieve your own balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine energies in order to be more authentic. And those that know me, I mean, not claim they know me, but really know me, I feel that is one of the reasons why they see me as being authentic in nature. I can be very loving, very giving, very creative. At the same time, there are two sides of the same coin, right? When I set a boundary, it will be enforced. All right? That's the opposite side. When it's about protecting me or mine, we ready to shine over here. By all means necessary, I'm going to protect me or mine. Right? When it comes to telling the truth or how it is, not everyone can tolerate that from me. Because I'm not going to make it pretty. I'm just going to state the facts. What you do about that is not my problem. You see? Yes, I'm loving. Yes, I'm understanding. Yes, I'm caring. Yes, I'm giving. But if someone abuses me in any way, shape, or form, and you expect me to be in my feminine energy, you may be waiting for all of eternity. All right? Because as strong as I am in my feminine, I am in my masculine. Now, what I want to say before I end, being authentic requires being balanced, correct? It also requires being unapologetic. That means being able to show up in the energy being received. Like if your energy is basically trying to bring harm to me, trying to hurt me, trying to abuse me, you gonna see masculine energy defined. Okay? And you're gonna see it without me worried about sister so-and-so, brother so-and-so, co-worker, supervisor, friend that says, but I know the other side of the coin. I know the side that is sweet, that is nice. Ain't no time for explaining. Ain't no time for understanding. There ain't no time for congregation. Like, you could all step off. You understand? Because when it comes to mine, when it comes to me, believe I will show up in the correct energy. And that's on period. Check out my part 2.